Let's go, let's go, let's go. Recording in progress. Hi, Ham, good to see you, bro. Rodrigo, bienvenido. Dani Vilaplana. Vamos encendiendo cámaras. Rodri, bueno verte, brother.
Hola,
¿Cómo has estado, Rodri?
¿todo bien? ¿Tú qué tal?
Man, muy bien. Gang, we're gonna do this in English because it's super important that we get used to getting the information in English, that you guys practice, speak, and all that good stuff because we're getting good in getting clients abroad. So it's important that we fucking, master the English, bit English, deal English. Yeah. Ihan, real quick, bro. Any update?
Sure. Yeah, well, I've been pitching some projects to a client. So right now, I created a webhook and we are deploying it. It's not that simple because this client, all the infrastructure is here in Costa Rica. So he have the physical servers. So there is some configuration that he needs to do on their end. And this is one project, but it's not the only priorities that we have. So I need to work along with him, and also I'm talking about other stuff that we're going to do after we complete this. Also, I have a meeting with one team and that I have a project on real estate. So after this meeting, I will meet with them, and that's it. I hadn't
Congrats.
been able to really create the video and being a crazy couple of weeks in terms of extra work and more than my regular 9 to 5. And my regular 9 to 5 is being crazy this
Mhm.
few weeks.
Yeah, my guy, I get it. The good stuff is, like we talked last week, the team of Freelance Nav is not going anywhere, bro. So once the video
Mhm.
is live, we can give you the feedback. We can put it online, YouTube, Upwork. Now I'm even considering using the intro video for the first post on LinkedIn. Killer, killer,
Mhm.
killer to go abroad. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. It's
Mhm.
amazing working, bro. Keep on it. The endeavor of mastering freelance, mastering the skills of leveraging Upwork. That not, on this calls, Danny is gonna explain how he arrived to $40,000 or more. I don't even know how much at this point. Um, how he did it and how you guys can do it too. It's a process, it's a process of learning how to send the right proposals, how to find the best potential job posts to apply to, how to optimize your profile to a point in which is no longer more optimizable. It's like so many variables, so it takes time. It takes time. No, no,
Mhm.
no, don't put extra pressure on you to be like, oh, I'm late, or I'm
Mhm.
fucking up, because you're not, bro. You're closing a webhook client. That is going to be another YouTube walkthrough video that is going to serve
Mhm.
the Upwork optimization and then the LinkedIn optimization as well. So it all connects, it all comes back to your career development.
Mhm.
It's all good in the hood, bro. Amazing. We have Andres Munoz. Good to see you, bro. Welcome aboard. Welcome, welcome. Live from Mex. And Jaime from Mex. My guy, I need your video on. We take pride on having the video on. Hey, good to see you, Brian.
Yeah,
Welcome. Well,
sorry, I'm at the gym. That's why I turned off the
let's
video.
go. Let's go. Real quick, bro. Just a quick introduction, a little bit of your background. What are you doing right now, and why did you join Freelance Nav? And what are you trying to achieve?
Okay. Sure. So about me, I have experience, well, technically across the whole stack. I have done front end, back end. Since last year, I started to study and got deep into AWS architecture. And other than that, um, I have also on my way try to get the freelance game right, but it's been a challenge, like to put all of the pieces together, to find a niche, an audience, how to serve them, and how to communicate in a way that makes sense for them. So yeah, that is what inspired me to join the freelance navigator. And right
Amazing.
now, what I'm trying to do, particularly for this month, is to get traction, to get my first clients, and ideally to either double my uh, the hourly rate that I have in my job, or to start selling projects, because I see that intersection, particularly with infrastructure as code. So um, many of the problems that the clients might face look similar, and they, in theory, or at least in my mind, um, I think that they are similar to changing the variables of a function, but having a similar result being returned. So that is a problem solved for the clients and money eventually. So yeah, happy to be here.
Amazing, bro. Welcome aboard. Jorge, welcome back. Good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome. And let's go, guys. Congrats on joining. Good to see all of you. This one is going to be more of a master class. We have Daniel on call live. He's going to be sharing his journey on how to coming from $0 and zero experience in freelance all the way to $40,000 on his Upwork account. So we're gonna go over his what he did, how he did it, and he's going to explain, because I just want everyone on call to be reminded that it is actually possible, and that it is actually possible for you. Your engineering skills are of high value in the market. You just need to learn the skills to sell it and to connect with potential clients abroad that can pay you the prices that you deserve. So on this call, the only ask that I have from all of you is that you suspend disbelief. I'm gonna write it on the chat. Suspend disbelief. Believe. Believe. Please believe. Suspend disbelief. Have an open mind. You're about to hear the story of someone who did it without actual proper official education. Everything was self-educated. It was a whole lot of ups and downs, but he did it, and he's here today to share the story. So with that said, thank you everyone for joining. If you have any questions throughout this presentation, just raise your hand and we will help you. Daniel, take the mic, my guy.
Thank you, Carlos. Well, thank you everyone for joining uh, tonight's presentation. So I have something prepared for you, which is how to master the shadow market in Upwork. And I'm gonna challenge some of your beliefs, as Carlos has been mentioning, because we're also gonna tackle the trap of specialization, right? We're gonna see how we can actually develop a unique value proposition, a differentiator for your skills, so it's a no-brainer for people to hire you. Okay, so to start with this, let me share my screen. 1 second. All right, so I'm about to turn 3 years of working on Upwork full-time. 100% of my income comes from Upwork, nowhere else. No 9 to 5, nothing else that is not Upwork. And I really love this platform. It's actually an incredible source of network, of income, of knowledge. And I don't know, it's just amazing. So first thing that I'm gonna mention is briefly, before jumping into the shadow market, let's define what the shadow market is. So normally when we try to apply for jobs, we are, we see a proposal, we see a job opening, and then we try to enter through the front door, right? Hey, this is me, I do X, Y, and Z, hire me, right? The problem with that is that 200, 300, or 500 people do the exact same thing. So every single job that you see, there's gonna be a lot of people comparing and trying to enter in, and if you put yourself in the hiring manager's shoes, they're gonna be like, oh, 90 proposals from exactly the same thing. Who do I choose? What I do, right? So we need to be so evident that we have something completely unique, something really hard to duplicate, really hard to find for it to be not a no-brainer to hire you. So when we talk about the shadow market, we are talking about jobs that are not advertised, the jobs that are not publicly announced. Because in reality, the higher quality jobs, the higher positions are filled out before anyone even writes a job description. Why? Because they look for their existing networks. They try to, get a referral from someone that they actually know and trust. And there's also people that are dedicated to be, headhunters, talent seekers. And what we need to do is make ourselves visible so we can open the door of the shadow market. So to tell you a little bit about that, this job here, I was found by the owner of the company. Same here. 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 So at this moment in time, I'm not even applying to jobs at all because I have a lot of work in my plate. And believe it or not, I am starting to decline jobs because jobs that are either or not good paying or not aligned to what I do. Okay, so to tackle this shadow market and this differentiator, let's talk about a little bit of the trap of specialization, right? It's a very common practice to hear like, oh, you have to specialize in just one thing, just do one thing and be the best at it. That is a half truth. Yeah, because if you're a designer, you're a developer, you're a marketer, of course, you need to be very good at what you do. But if you narrow your focus or you narrow your mind to only one thing, you're going to be doing the exact same thing that everyone else is doing, right? So the other trap is being a generalist. I do a little bit of copywriting, I do a little bit of this, I do a little bit of that. So you're like all over the place, right? And that is also a common trap because you are not specialized. You know a little bit of everything, but not enough. So that can signal a lot of ideas like, this person is not focused enough, or is a jack of all trades, master of none. So if being a specialized and being a generalist, none of those approaches work, what do I suggest you to do? What I invite you to look for is take your main craft and then look for outside skills that can be very good complements to what you are already doing. And when you start to, you have to have a main path to follow. So if you are a software developer, yeah, you need to do whatever front end, back end, or whatever you do, but you need to enrich that with something from an external source that is just gonna give you a unique edge. So to explain this a little bit, let me share you a little bit of what I work with. So my area of work is UX design, right? So I take a look at, websites, apps, try to define the user journeys, try to make a user-centered approach in order to understand the users that are gonna need it and how can I tie that to the business needs. And then by having an understanding of clients, of the users, we can come up with the features that are going to make the best impact for the user and that are going to help the company, make revenue or whatever. So within that, I specialized in something called gamification design systems. So basically, it's making non-video games behave like video games. So, for example, I work in education companies, and they have e-learning courses. So they're very boring, people don't complete them. So what I do is I make them more engaging by implementing a narrative, by coming up with game elements and hooks and triggers so people return and complete them. And that helps the user because they are completing the course that they purchased and they're learning. And that helps the company because now they have higher completion rates, higher testimonials, they can get more people, and so on. So within the UX field, I over specialized in this small area of gamification design. And if you take a look, most of my jobs are about that. Oh, sorry. You see, most of my jobs are about this specific skill. However, I found a problem. Since this skill is so niche down, at a certain point, I found that I was not getting more clients because who looks for this, So I found a problem. And the problem was I was not good at selling what I did. And also, I think I had a very narrow vision of what type of value I could give to companies. Okay. So because my end goal is having my own company, which I recently launched a beta testing product, but that's a story for another day. I needed to develop a lot of skills if I wanted to be a successful business owner, right? So I started to take a look at the product from two different angles, the marketing side of things and the design side of things. So I started to expand a little bit, for example, in copywriting or, inbound marketing, doing like sales funnels and stuff like that. And at the beginning, I was not able to get any type of client for that because my profile was optimized to be a gamification designer. So one thing that I started to do is, okay, I'm gonna keep developing my skills as a UX person, but once I have good results from the products that I'm building for the clients, I started to upsell them other services, mainly the copywriting. So it's like, hey, we have designed this, so we can go ahead and have some email marketing campaigns to advertise this. Or the landing page that people are gonna sign up is gonna need persuasive language in there. So at the beginning, I was offering that skill completely for free because I was not even confident in my own capacities. But I started to get results from the free work that I was given. I don't recommend you to do that, by the way, but that was how it is for me. And once I started to get, feedback and testimonials and results from the things that we were building, and I started to invest more in those skills, I started to switch more towards the marketing things. So I moved from the gamification only to start to work more with copywriting. So now I'm working with these projects or a digital marketing agency, for a creative studio, all of these things. So what I want you to think about is you have your main area of knowledge, right? Software development, graphic design, whatever you name it. And while you need to be competitive enough, and you have to be very good at that, I suggest you to look at a secondary thing that you can develop. simultaneously until it becomes a good skill for you to fuse them together. And while I was struggling a lot at the beginning into how to advertise, my different skills and my different interests, because you know the trap of generalists, like, oh, jack of all trades, master of none, all of those things. Yeah, that signals a lot of red flags to hiring managers if you are not clever. So what do I mean with that? I wanted to move into product management. And a product manager doesn't need to know everything. They just need to deal with product management things. However, a product manager that has a skin in the game is more valuable to a company if they know a little bit of this and know a little bit that, and they can combine them. So for the digital marketing agency that I'm working right now, I'm a product manager. I build their new website. I'm doing copywriting for their clients. I'm helping the agency to expand into infra products. So before they were just doing services, but then I started to tell them like, hey, we should be selling low ticket offers and done with you and do it yourself type of things. So we completely changed the line of business. So you can capture more people, more revenue. And then I got the idea like yesterday, I'm not kidding, that if I have these two interests, which I am very passionate about, and I've invested a lot of time and effort into both the marketing and the design, how can I put them together in a unique, powerful way? And I come up with the title of Growth Focused Interaction Designer. This is what I've been sending in my proposals. When I get invited, hey, we saw your profile, we're interested in what you do, blah, 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 send a proposal if you're interested. So I've been using this title because an interaction designer is mainly the one that is dealing with the construction of the product. What people do when they enter the app, where do they click, where they go after they go, all of the inside the product, mapping out the journey, what they can do, why, what happens after, all of that. But because of the interest in marketing and the results I've been getting on marketing, I actually found that marketing is the same thing. It's the interaction with the company before they become customer. So mapping out, the sales funnels, mapping out interaction flows, a chatbot even, or the copy on a landing page. So I got to connect both of those things and just come up with a unique name. I've been testing this recently, and I've been getting a lot of responses from my proposals. So your profile needs to instantly say what you do, but it also has to have that unique edge. So I haven't changed this title in my Upwork profile for more than a year, nor this description. Even though I plan to do, I haven't done it because it has been working a lot. I get an inbound message every week. I'm not kidding. The problem is I'm getting people that I don't want to work with. I have declined 5 people that want to build casinos. They want to build a casino and they just want to make the whole experience super addictive, and they want to drain people's money. And I'm not gonna lie, when I sell, that is tempting to get the cash, but I will be destroying people's life, and I don't give a crap about this type of business. So I just want to work with things that are aligned to me personally. But I can tell you that building a casino for being addictive with all of the skill sets that I handle
My
is
friend,
super.
just a quick thing. I have someone else on call here, Eduardo Sancho, who has a little bit of experience with joining projects who don't really align with the vision that you have for your career. So, Edu, can you just share a little bit of that experience and what you learned throughout that process?
Yeah, nice to meet you, Daniel. My name is Eduardo, and I'm gonna give some context on that decision. I was like 2 months ago, I started working as a software consultant. That was the title, but what I was doing is like it was like a software agency that they had developers behind the scenes, and I was supposed to be like the face of the team. But I didn't use my name. Like I was impersonating engineers with more than 10 years of experience when I myself had 5. And the reason why they chose me or wanted me to be the face was because they impersonated people that were living in the US that had to speak like kind of native English. Um, and all of this kind of affected it. The word I like to use, it felt like it was contaminating my my identity, my essence. And I was straightforward with them. I worked with them for like a little bit over a month, and it was just draining my energy, not because of the nature of the work, but it was the fakeness of the work that drained my energy. So I wouldn't recommend that I wouldn't recommend you to work or consider working on something just for the money, but to try to align it with your but your own professional goals.
Yeah. Yesterday, I got an inbound from a company from Israel that they are building an AI girlfriend, and they wanted to have a gamification conversational designer to make people dependent on the AI girlfriend. So they didn't say that like on the entrance, right? So I was like, oh, they say like, hey, we want a gamification designer with background in psychology and conversation design because we're building AI companion thing. And I was so excited because I was like, oh, this sounds like something like to do with mental health or whatever is gonna help people. Blah, blah, blah. I joined to the call and they told me, oh yeah, we're actually building like a AI girlfriend. I was like, I was not even able to, hide my disgust. And I told them like, I am not interested. Oh yeah, but we can pay you very well, blah, 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 blah. But
Yeah.
it was very predatory. So yeah, I get what you mean. I just didn't want to even continue. So I had to disconnect.
You
But
will feel it in your heart.
yeah,
It feels sketchy. So
yeah,
you feel it.
yeah, exactly. The immediate feedback was evident from my body, like, no way, no way. So that is something I appreciate your input here, because when we get to a level in which people are finding us to, because they see the value we provide, or portfolios, and what is that? Like, our portfolio is evident that we can do what we say we do, and we have all these projects and testimonials and whatever, we're gonna get a lot of attention. And that is when you start to define exactly what you are looking for and why. So yeah, at the very beginning, I took a lot of these jobs for, $500, $60, whatever, because I needed to learn. I didn't have any experience. I started my Upwork profile and my freelance career learning how to do it at the same time. Like, I got someone, hey, we need a landing page. And oh yeah, I can do it, blah, blah. And then, fuck, what do I do it, right? With a book here and a long line course over there. So I was not charging much because confidence. I didn't have skill. I didn't have evidence to back it up. And that's how I started, right? Until I started to work with Carlos here, and Carlos is like, no, get your things straight, move up. And then after a lot of experience, I got to that point. So getting back to the shadow market, you need to think about
Yeah.
keyword.
Hey, yeah, lovely. Right after that, because we have to make sure that everyone gets questions in and whatever. I would love for you, Danny, to show exactly how it looks to get those invitations and those inbound opportunities, and then also, if you're okay with that, just showing a little bit of the transactions on your Upwork, so Eduardo, Rodrigo, Ihan can see, both Eduardos, Francisco, Andres, can actually see how it looks once you finally unlocked the Upwork shadow market. Because at the very beginning, we do have to send proposals and we have to invest. We have to pay for Upwork Connects, and obviously, it's no one is excited to invest on quote unquote Upwork Connects. The good thing about
Yeah.
this is that once you get your
Absolutely.
profile and it's optimized, you finally unlocked, this inbound opportunities. And just like Daniel said, after 1 year of him building this profile, he no longer invests on Upwork Connects no more. So that's obviously the best case scenario, right? But there is a build up to reach that point.
Yeah, let me try to share with you a couple of examples. My internet is kind of slow, so apologies for that. So, well, out of nowhere, I got this message, for example. Hi, Daniel, you have the skill set we're looking for to lead our project. We are an NGO working in Honduras to develop leadership skills in adolescents. It will be a gamification, blah, blah, blah. We need to make the curriculum digital and cool, you know. Oh, interesting. This is the type of things I want to support, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about it. And then, okay, it was booked. And then, yeah, we had like the interview, whatever, and I sent my design brief. Thank you for this. And then they just sent me the contract here. So at first, it's a 1K project with potential to scale it a little bit depending on results. So yeah, I was not doing anything. I just got that one out of the blue. This other guy as well. Um, Hey Daniel, I'm the CTO of Hello Sugar, the fastest growing waxing, sugaring, and laser hair removal franchise in the US. We're looking to do like a loyalty reward program to increase lifetime value, blah, blah, blah. And then, well, thank you for reaching out. Sounds fun. And then I throw up the meeting. Didn't happen. Follow up. Have you found the right partner for this? I forgot about this project.
Amazing. Hey,
And
just a quick pause. This follow-up structure, my friends, this is something that we created ourselves. The gentle follow-up, the hey, just want to bump this up your inbox, or hey, did you find the right partner for this project? And I created a new one this month, which is like add name, and they just be like, "Are you alive?" They'll be like, "Ha," and it's
nice.
been working amazingly. Are you alive? Because it's so laid back, it's like so chill. Because the other competitors, they're just like, add name, is this still available? Like looking for something. See the difference? It's like it's such a different in an energetic exchange, yeah. The
Yeah.
you alive, if you're stressed out because you're an agency owner in Canada and you have meetings all day long and you're trying to find a freelancer for a specific project that is starting in 2 weeks, and your Upwork job post is flooded with all these Indians and people from all these strange countries. And they're all like, hello, sir, I can start right now, right? And you're the only one who's like, hey, Adam, are you alive? LOL. It's huge, man. It's huge. So I just want to say, guys, this follow-up structure, as you can see, is 4 different messages. All of the different messages have a clear emotional, energetic approach, which is very laid back. So very laid back, not needy, yet directional. Not needy, yet directional. Continue, Daniel.
Yeah, so I I've been using this, the gentle follow-up. You give it a couple of days, and then have you found a right partner for this project? And if there's no answer, like the killer, right? Like, should I forget about this? This has gave me responses 100% of the time, because they feel like they need to prove themselves. No, wait. No. Is it, hey, Danny, I would love to work with you. We're still getting our stuff together, but what do you want to meet this week? So we scheduled the meeting, we had the meeting, and then I sent him the brief, but then he replied to me in the email being like, oh, we're restructuring the company, so I think we're gonna do this by August, so I'm gonna try to reach you by then. It's like, okay, fine. But the thing is that this guy just came out of nowhere. So that's the thing. There's a lot of guys, but who's another example of this guy?
Danny, question. What's the average ticket price that you're expecting here in this inbound opportunities? How much are you expecting to charge per project on average?
The minimum that I'm working now for UX work, meaning like building a gamification, e-learning or courses or e-commerce, whatever, I'm aiming for 3,000.
Yeah.
I've been able to get a couple of those. Yeah, so
Cool. For everyone on call, Jaime, well, he's at the gym. Ayhan, my friend, if you have any specific questions, this is the time, feel free to ask, bro. Edu, both Edus, Fran, Andres. Guys, I want all of you to feel like this is a safe place. I know that sometimes you feel like you don't want to take the time, but you join the program to get the specific questions and the value that you need. So just, feel comfortable to ask anything.
I
as
have
So
a
do you-
question.
So do I, but sorry, I'll mute myself.
Oh, no, it's okay. Well, I just wanted to ask, typically how long does a project takes you to get completed?
Oh, good question. It does depend on what the people are looking for and what needs to be built. I have projects that I've been working for a full year, in which I built, for example, this one. This was a year and it ended up being $14,000. This other one here was 10 months. It was $12,000. Because I actually did everything. I did, from the idea of the person until the delivery, but sometimes it's very punctual, so it can be like 3 months.
But in those cases, they pay you at the end of the project, or they pay you monthly, or how is that?
Yeah, good question. So it depends. I have some projects, for example, this one right here, which I did a huge mistake because I took it out from Upwork. But the guy wanted to build a piano school, and we covered him $4,000. Then he paid the first milestone in Upwork, and then requested to move it outside of the platform because of the fees. And after we finished the deliverables, he was still interested in working and do more things. And we eventually ended up having a $10,000 project for like
Okay.
8 months. So in most cases, yes, we have like a very defined start and finish. So for example, this one, we calculated $1,000. This other one as well, 1,000. This 3,000, but it's in a pause. This was 2,000, but they stopped it. Some of those, actually, we come up with an amount, and then they just want to keep more things because they see the value, they see how things are actually progressing and all of the things that are needed. And they're like, hey, will you be able to do this and this? And oh, yeah. So that's why I like about
Okay.
hourly contracts, because it has way more room for growth. So even though you can accept a timeline, if they're happy with what you're giving them and they see the results and everything, the job can increase until both of you want. So basically.
Okay. And well, I noticed that you are saying we. So you have a team that you are working with for all of these projects,
Most of
or
the
you do everything?
most of these projects I work solo, but in some of those projects I have worked with Carlos at the very beginning, or I have mounted teams. So
Okay.
it's some of those I have worked with, like another guy which was doing like development, another I actually founded a team of 4, but most of those I actually work independently or I joined their teams. So
Okay.
there's many ways
Yeah,
to
yeah.
collaborate and work. That's what this is.
Okay. Oh,
Mhm.
great.
Andres, you
Yeah,
had
thank
a
you.
question? Well, first of all, did I answer your questions, Rodrigo?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
everything.
nice.
Thank you.
Let
Mhm.
me let me add a little bit of meat and juice, my friends. Jorge, if you have any questions, my guy, feel free to ask. Whatever you guys, Andres, Jaime, Edus, both Edus, Frank. Lovely, Edu has a question. So, important to note, my friends, um, it takes a little bit of time to build your Upwork funnel. Yeah. So there's a few words that I want you guys, a few concepts that I want you to take away from this call, which is sales funnel. Yeah. So sales funnel. You need to start to see yourself no longer just as a resource, but as a business of your own, right? You are your own business. Every business, an online business, we all have sales funnels. Upwork is a sales funnel for your freelance practice or your virtual consultation practice. Every sales funnel require a proper setup process. And this is some amazing marketing um, substance that I want you guys to take away from this call. So, for example, if you're selling products as an e-commerce, then me and Daniel, for example, we had clients in the past that needed to build an e-commerce website, and then they will go and run ads on Facebook ads to bring traffic onto their website. Sorry. And then our our job was to deploy the products into an e-commerce that was simple to purchase. So what's the sales funnel? The client would pay for media, for eyes, for attention through Facebook ads. This will going to bring attention onto their sales funnel, which is a website slash e-commerce. So there is an investment and a setup process to optimize said sales funnel. Every sales funnel, it's divided in layers. The first layer, top of funnel, is always the attention. So top of funnel is always the attention. Where does the attention come from your Upwork sales funnel? From your visits to your profile, visits to your profile. If your profile is optimized, people can find you. Upwork works just like Google, right? So SEO for profile optimization, right? Just like Daniel was saying, you want to have keywords specific that connect to the client's needs. So then your profile shows up. Yeah. So SEO, search engine optimization for your Upwork profile. That is top of funnel. Top of funnel on Upwork is profile visits and your outbound, your active proposal applications. So these are the two ways that you can bring traffic onto your Upwork profile. That is top of funnel. Mid funnel, right in the middle, is the call setting process. What is the call setting process? All of the messages that we exchange between you guys as freelancers or virtual consultants and the clients. Some clients are a pain in the ass. Hey, Ihan, I'm looking to deploy a chatbot for tomorrow. How much is it? And then Ihan, if he was a yes sir guy, if he was a Larry, an average guy, then he's like, oh yeah, I can do this right now for $100. Yeah. But in the setting process, we have a very specific type of questions so that we can lead the prospect onto a sales call. And then the third step, ¿verdad? Mid funnel, and then lower funnel. Low funnel is, this is where we kill it, right? A live one-on-one sales call. So we can then proceed to ask the inquisitive questions that make self-evident to the prospect, that we understand their business needs, and then we can make a technical project proposal that will help them achieve their goals. That is the step-by-step process, yeah? Edu?
So good afternoon, everyone. So questions on I got on this part is, you mentioned that you sometimes have to put a team together, right, to do stuff. How do you fix the price, or how do you come up with a price on that term, right? Like you need a developers. So what you do, you go back and forth with the developer asking them how much you're gonna pay. You overpay him for, I don't know, stuff. Tell me the works, the ins and outs for like the projects you're having, setting up a team, and it is not, you're not working solo.
Yes, good question. So what I do for that is, based on previous projects, I can review them. I can analyze how much it took in time, how much hours per week I was delegating to that. And because I didn't have like a clear understanding of nothing, because I was figuring out while I was actually selling these projects, it was kind of a little bit of a trial and error. So at the very beginning, I was selling, like programs or websites or e-commerce loyalty programs for like $2,000. But after, deployment and doing all of the things and all the errors, unexpected things that you don't know are gonna happen, that you should, prepare for, I start to be like, this actually took a lot of time. There's a lot of things that I needed to learn. I cannot have this for 2,000. I need to raise 3,000. And when we sold, for example, when I was with Carlos and we sold this piano school for 4,000, we were like, oh yeah, we got like 4,000 for this client. But the guy wanted to do a very, very, very complicated project we ended up billing like 12,000. We have to recruit a couple of developers and stuff. After having that experience, I was able to measure and being like, okay, well, these can be unexpected delays. Those are errors that could happen. And very importantly, I was able to create a standard operational procedure, being like, okay, first this, then this, then this, and then that. So for a while, I was trying to keep selling the projects for 3,000. So I was like, okay, well, milestone first, the first milestone, which is strategy research, 1K. Then the ideation, another K. And then the implementation and the deployment, another K. So what you do is, when you come up with a pricing, or at least what I've been doing, when you come up with a pricing point, you keep delivering it, and then you measure. You'll be like, we're actually over delivering. We're actually like increasing the value that we give. Then you measure and you try to charge a little bit more. And what I suggest you to try to look for is the hourly contracts, because hourly contracts give you more power as the freelancer in terms of the relation of the business, while the fixed price gives more power to the client. So the client being like, okay, there's gonna be 2,000 for this or 1,000 for this. You do that, you complete it, Then if they want more or whatever, they can give you another milestone. But with the hourly contracts, it's way more flexible because it could be like, well, this is gonna take like 2 months of work by 10 hours a week and whatever hourly rate you give. So they're gonna be able to see, you know, because they pay every week, it's actually gonna be easier for them because it's smaller amounts. And then they can just increase the hourly limit or whatever, depending on your performance. So the answer to your question is a little bit more complicated. Maybe Carlos can give you a better answer, but I would just say trial and error and reflect on your previous experiences and then iterate.
Amazing. So Edu, the specific question is, how do you go about pricing?
Estimation, pretty much, right? So how do I estimate how much am I going to charge if I have to build a team, right? Because when it comes to something that I don't know and I rely on somebody else's, do I go and uh ask the customer, give me like 2 weeks to get me a developer, then I go ahead and I don't know, search the market for the developer type I need, how much is they going to cost it and include it. Do I overprice? I don't know if developer charge me 50 an hour for the
Mhm.
work. Do I charge my client 60? Can I do that? Can I not? Should I? Stuff like that. All right.
Listen, that is an amazing question. Really important, really advisable that you make a school post because this is actually gold. And in a school post, I can give you a total framework. In any case, I'll reply right now. Amazing question, Edu. Thanks for joining. That's gold. For everyone on call, question is, how do I estimate tech projects that I don't necessarily have 100% certainty and clarity of the scope? Yeah, right? Of
Okay.
course. Yeah, man. So once we're starting our career as virtual consultants or freelancers, especially for people like Eduardo or Ihan, Rodrigo, like Frank, people who have already this predisposition to be friendly and easygoing and talkative. You know, for you guys, it's easier than the person who is a little bit more shy and doesn't want to speak to other humans. So when you start convincing people that you can bring them results and you start to work, this is where when the real craft begins, my friend. This is where the real fight, right? So I'm going to reply to this question in phases. The first phase is just like um, the reality check. Yeah, there are many 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 intents of AI tools for estimating tech projects. Still, they miss around 60% in accuracy. Still, still to this day, and it's 2025. So why is it so hard to estimate your tech projects? Because not only does every project have very specific terms and conditions, expected codes, behavior, user stories, definitions of done, right? Unless you're selling something that is productized. Back in the day, I used to sell custom builds. And as Daniel said, when estimating tech projects that are more custom built, more personalized, you first have to go through a discovery phase, yeah? Discovery phase. That's phase one, discovery phase. What we do in tech gigs, obviously, this is assuming that the client has the budget for it, and this is totally normal in Upwork. What we do is we pitch for a discovery phase, right? In which we charge for 300, 600 bucks for a 1 to 2 weeks proper discovery phase. Meaning, what we're pitching is a series of long workshops with the client and every associated stakeholder to the project that we're pitching. And then we're gonna go through a series of questions, right? We're gonna actually do a whole document that I'm going to share in a specific example here on call. We're going to build a whole product requirements document. Product, project requirements document. Sharing. PRD for short. This is going to be a little example. We're going to do a whole workshop about this because it becomes evident that it's needed. But this is going to get the idea across. Again, this is super simple. I'll share my screen, share my my doc with all of you. Here you go. Take a look. Sharing screen. Send request. Accept, please, my friend.
You need to share screen, Carlos?
Yes, please. Sharing.
Oh, I confirm.
I got it. I got it. Good stuff. All right, friends. Here. Everyone can see?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the output. This is the specific output of a serious professional discovery phase. We charge for this project. We charge for this work. Obviously, as you can see, there is a structure. It's serious, it's professional, and this is the output of a week to sometimes 2 weeks type of first phase, right? So the team associated, the name of the project, the product definition overview as expected, the features, the key takeaways, the considerations, the project requirements breakdown. Number one, design development, estimated timeline 7 days, technical definition overview, platforms associated, the tech stack, the models that we're going to use, APIs and SDKs that we're going to use, the proposed architecture and the reasons why, and the diagrams associated, questions that we're going to need more clarity for, and competitors, milestones, yada 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 yada. Good stuff. Make a clone of it for your inspiration, but that is the first phase that we use when it comes to formally, properly pitching a custom built, and this process, I recommend you guys, you go through this process once you're pitching. Everything above $1,500 is worth doing it. But once you're hitting those 3K gigs, $3,000 gigs, you want to consider 3,000 as the whole of the project, the whole budget, and $300, like a 10%, $300 specific for the discovery phase. So you on call, one sec, Danny, I know you're going to share some bomb. You on call, you can be like, hey, Mr. Prospect, I understand the needs, and I'm glad to tell you I can actually help. Usually, my guesstimation, my initial gue guesstimation is based on previous experience, Usually, you're looking at 6 to 10 weeks, or about usually 3K to 6K. You can say this live on call. And then what you say is the following. Is this within your possibilities? And you wait between 3K and 6K. And then the person will react. The person will be like, no, actually, yeah, that's fine. Actually, yeah, sounds about right. I was doing a little bit of research before joining this call. So sounds about right. And then you're like, fantastic, splendid, great. Glad to hear that. So the first phase is that we go through a discovery process in which you and I and my team and your team and all of the stakeholders will jump on a series of workshops of questions that will bring prepared, and we'll basically interview you guys because we got to make sure that we understand the expectations of the project, the vision, the impact that you guys expect and need the project to achieve. And with that all clear, we can proceed to properly make a project proposal, meaning I'll show you the architecture, we'll document all of the requirements and user stories and features. And if all that makes sense, we can kick off with the rest of the project. Sound good? Sound fair? Make sense? How's that, Edu? Good, yeah?
I just
Any
wanted to add something regarding to hiring someone to help you. So for this project, I had an hourly rate of 40, and we had agreement of 20 hours a week. And my skill set doesn't really include visual design like illustrations and graphics. So for that one, I actually had to hire someone to help me. So what I was doing with this project is I took 10 of the hours for the actual work that I was doing, and then I have someone helping me for 5 hours. So I hired someone that I look on Upwork and got someone that charged me $20 an hour for doing the work that I was needed of visual and graphics. So what I was doing is at the end of the week, the contractor that I got charged me 5 hours for 20 hours, $20 an hour. And what I did is I just added manual time, and I just bought the 5 hours of the visual designer. And then I charged that to the client, but for 40 hours, for $40 the hour, meaning that I recovered the amount that the designer was charging me. And I, on top of that, I was adding more because I had to, coach the designer, meet with the designer, tell them, hey, fix this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
So,
sounds fair, like because you're doing it, the management part for that part, for that guy. So
yeah. And also, when I made the post, I put like, hey, I'm needing a visual designer helping me. This is my budget frame. So I put, between 20 and 30, and I got someone that was very good, was kind of starting out, but went for $20. So I took that and I helped him to develop a lot of, portfolio, and was doing the work with me. I was just managing that, and I charged the client for his work and $20 on top of each of these hours. That's how I manage this project only, because most of the time I either join a team they have or I do it myself.
I like
Francis,
that.
questions?
Amazing.
Francisco halfway.
Just before Francis goes, but before Fran, Lenny, you can stop sharing your screen. Thank you. Amazing. Um, Jorge, welcome back, my friend. Yes, so this is how you start to see how it actually is. Yeah, before freelance nav, it's a little bit of like uncertainty what it is like to actually build this freelance business and then have a predictable way to close 2 to 3 consistent clients every month. And once you're booked, then you have to bring extra hands, and that's how you start building up your agency, a serious business that they can scale. Yeah. So I'm glad that you guys joined, to have Fran, Edu, both Edus in here, and Rodrigo, who just joined last week, I think. That you can actually see the reality. That you can actually see, okay, so this is how it actually goes. And this is how we did it many times. We closed a gig. This was like years ago already, when the chatbots was just like something new, and it was booming, and everyone wanted to make a bot. So me and Alejandro, we closed a chatbot that was it was literally connecting the WhatsApp business API with OpenAI API, and then just adding some PDFs, and we charge 8K for that, 8,000 in milestones of 2,000 every 15 days. And we needed to build a team, and it was crazy. We call it the sleep genie. It was a sleep coach.
I remember that one. Yeah.
So this is possible, friends. It is just like that. And if you think about it, yes, it takes time to build up your Upwork proposal, your Upwork profile. But once the buildup is there, it almost goes like by itself, almost. You still need to upgrade and make sure that you make a little bit of tweaks. That's just marketing. This is normal. That's just life. Um, but if you have the ability to close a total project of $8,000, and you can do that 2 to 3 times every 30 days, and you break that 8,000 in milestones of 2,000 every 15 days, that's how you start building your business, bro. That is the step by step. That is how it looks like. The initial build up. That's why at the very beginning of this call, my friends, I told you suspend, suspend disbelief. Have an open mind. Because if there is someone who did it already, what is stopping you? Daniel is no smarter than you.
I'm probably dumber than you.
So
I learned everything with books and online courses. I never went to the university. I was scared. I was traumatized, had everything against me, but I just keep pushing until I got evidence that is undeniable right now. So as I mentioned, I don't even try. Now I'm getting people to look for me. So what I will say to you is the hardest client is the first one. Once you get the first client, the second one is going to be way easier because you've proven yourself. You are now have evidence in your profile. So you build a profile bio, you develop a system for your proposals, you test them. So every week you send how many number of proposals you want. And then at the end you check, not many good open rates. Let me change that. Let me change my bio. And then you can start to make the changes every month or every 2 months or whatever until you bring like, hey, these proposals that I'm sending, this structure and my bio is working a lot. I don't need to change anything
yeah,
until you want to add something else.
lovely. Now, just like we talked 2 weeks ago, the difference between a business owner and someone who has wishful thinking is the data-driven identity, huh? Identity. Daniel just said it. How many proposals I sent? What was my open rate? What was my response rate? I don't like it. It's not at least 15%. Maybe I should change a little bit of the hook. Or maybe I should add another video walkthrough. Or maybe I should go ahead into the market and see what's the combination of skills. Or for example, Jaime, who's looking into AWS, what is the frequency per specific job post? Is it one every hour, one every 2 hours? Okay, meaning if there is one every hour, then maybe I can send, wow, maybe 5 to up to 8 proposals a day. And then in 3 days, I have a good amount of proposals. I can see the response rate, who's replying, who's not replying, why. And that is the tweak. That is the process. But it's gotta be data driven. And I have friends on this call, I see you, who you don't drag your proposals, my friends. So upgrade the mind of a business owner. Start believing that you're also a founder, not just Mr. Tech professional looking to get some side hustles or some shrimps on the side, but you are already a founder. And every founder that I know that is building something that works is data driven. Data driven. Fran, you wanted to ask a question, my friend?
Yeah. Um, and that's great, by the way. I did want to ask about this exploration stage. Um, and again, I'm sure this happens once you're like, grown a little bit. But have you ever had it where? So well, let me actually rephrase that. So is that part of the total pitch you make, or you say like, why don't we do this first and then go from there? Like, does that make sense?
Yes,
Or
you can say that, and part of the sales life cycle, you'll see, my friend, that once you have consistent influx of sales calls, you'll start to try different things. So the best way to go about it, based on my experience, is to just assume that this is the process. This is how it works. So just like talk in a way that makes it evident that this is the way, that this is the process. Like once you get into Subway, and then there is a sticker with an arrow, order here. you don't get into Subway be like, bro, maybe I kind of want to order from the corner, like
Right. I like that. That was
TNT, right?
yeah.
So, but if your tonality, your tone of voice, the way you say things feel a little bit uncertain, then what they're getting, the prospect, what they get is like, well, I don't see a clear process. So
Hmm.
they, maybe you're in front of a really nice person and they will try to help you get to a conclusion. So if the process is not like, hey, we're gonna do the discovery, it's $300, and then we're gonna jump on another call, we'll do a proper presentation, and then we go on to the next steps. Then they're trying to help you. Okay, so maybe we'll do the discovery first, or hey, so how much is it total? Ah, no, it's too much money. Sorry, I can't do it. You have to talk in a way that it looks like protocol, because there's nothing better for a prospect or a client to know that they're working with someone who already possesses protocols and clear
Tell me
pro.
The
Obviously,
that.
the trick there is to get used to talking in a way that makes it evident that this is protocol.
Yeah, the leads, clients, prospects, they're looking for guidance. They're looking for an expert that is gonna take them from A to B to C to D. So you gotta sound like you actually know how to get to B, C, D, and beyond.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. The process, your consultation process must be a system, must be a step-by-step process, not like something you kind of change based on them.
Now that makes sense because my follow-up question was going to be, now that AI is so ubiquitous and whatever, so I would assume maybe some clients are like, oh, I already asked ChatGPT, I have a PRD here, but you can still be like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do the discovery anyway because, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's what you, yeah.
They could be like, oh, that's so cute, GPT. Yeah, sure. Listen, yeah, show me the GPT. I'm a break it right now. Like GPT is what, accuracy 50%? If so, unless it was like a super prompt. But yeah, like some clients get excited, like, hey man, I got GPT, I know what we gotta do, man. Just tell me how much this is. Like, okay, can you share your screen, please? Or give me the link, I'll take a look. So what was the prompt that you used? And you can guide them. And this is even an opportunity for you to show your expertise. So like, oh, you
Hmm.
use GPT, that's so cute. So listen, this is how it actually works. So step one, and they love that shit because like, oh, what the fuck? Wait, GPT is not magic? Friends, yeah, lovely, lovely call. Wow, it was long, eh? Jaime just like he
Yeah.
went to the gym, did the workout, came home. Friends, it's good to see all of you guys. Most of you are a little bit stuck in the optimizing the profile. So this upcoming week, I'll reach out to all of you individually, starting with Jaime on Friday, to make sure that everyone on this call finally has your Upwork, at least from the preparation standpoint, ready to battle. Because I want next month, like next call, to be everything 100% outreach, sending proposals, booking those calls. Okay?
Yes.
Friends, thanks for joining. Thanks for staying. This was long. This will be uploaded as always. Take care and let's fucking go, my guys. I'll see you next week. Ciao,
Thanks.
Okay. So yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Here, guys.
See you guys.
ciao. Ciao.